Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopefully elect. All right. And I just want to go into this lesson real quick. Basically, the basis for this lesson is going to be a quick lesson. The basis for this lesson is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 2, verse 10. Okay. It says, "Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Most High and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?" Right. And through the Spirit, I was going through a couple of chapters in the Apocrypha and basically came across these different situations. Really, I just was reading and I came across these situations, and then that precept came to mind and I kept reading and I found like 2 or 3 of these situations. So basically, prayer of Azariah, right? Or the prayer of Azariah, which my name is Azariah, but I didn't know that one of the holy children in the fiery furnace, I didn't know his name was Azariah until after I came into the truth and started learning more. I didn't know about the prayer of Azariah or any of that, or I just knew I was familiar with him as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, but then after later on I found out, okay, his name was Azariah, and I was like, okay, that's gonna sound kind of crazy that I chose that name, but I didn't know that's a name that I actually purposed to name one of my children when I was still in the world. I was like, thinking about naming one of my children Azariah, and I actually was thinking about it being a girl's name, but then I thought about it even when I was in the world, like, I don't know if I would, name it that. But then when I started learning about the Paleo Hebrew, Salaki, this is unrelated, but when I started learning about the Paleo Hebrew, then I was like, Azariah. I was like, oh, these sounds like, the way that we pronounce the Paleo Hebrew. So I was like, maybe my name should be Azariah, and then later on I found out, wow, that actually was the name of one of the holy children. But anyway, so as you know, this is a prayer, or as you should know, in the Apocrypha, there's a prayer of Azariah, okay, which is one of the holy children from, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I forget which one he was, because they received those names in that captivity, okay, with Daniel. And they were thrown into the fiery furnace, if I'm not mistaken, it was for not worshiping the gods during that time. Salaki if I'm wrong on that, but so they got to a point, where they were praying. It was crazy, man. Matter of fact, I might even go a little bit into this. Lucky. Okay, I'll just go get to the point. Prayer of Azariah, which is only 1 chapter, in verse 15. "Nevertheless, in a contrite heart and in humble spirit, let us be accepted, like as in the burnt offering of rams and bullocks, and like as in 10,000s of fat lambs. So let our sacrifice be in thy sight this day, and grant that we may wholly go after thee, for they shall not be confounded that put their trust in thee." So as I was reading this, I was like, wow, and man, when you go into this, let's see here, when you go into this, let's just continue reading some. Verse 17, "And now we follow thee with all our heart, we fear thee and seek thy face," like it said in the book of Sirach. Okay, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Ecclesiasticus 2 and 10, or Sirach 2 and 10. And I'm just reading halfway down. "Did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?" That truly called upon him in truth, in truth and sincerity. Okay. Let's continue to read verse 18 in the prayer of Azariah 1 and 18. "Put us not to shame, but deal with us after thy loving kindness and according to the multitude of thy mercies. Deliver us also according to thy marvelous works, and give glory to thy name, O power. And let Salaki, I'm popping in the mic, let me move it a little bit. And let them all that do thy servants hurt be ashamed." Okay, "and let them be confounded, and all their power and might, let their strength be broken." Okay, let me see here. See, this is the actual precept that I was okay, Isaiah 14. Let's see if this is what I want. Isaiah 14:5. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Now, of course, this is talking about Esau, Edom. Okay, the powers that currently be, the earthly powers, the spiritual wickedness in high places. You know, the workers after Satan on the planet Earth. You know, his physical counterpart. He's gonna break their staff. He's gonna break the staff of the wicked. You know, so that's kind of what Azariah is referring to here. You know, let them be confounded in all their power and might. Let their strength be broken. You know, he's gonna break the strength of the wicked, and let them know that thou art the Most High, the only power and glorious over the whole world. Yeah, because Esau thinks he's God. He thinks he's the Most High. And the king. So yeah, I just wanted to get to this point here where you can see how great of a salvation this was. You know, and this is representative of also what's going to happen for the elect's sake. And the king's servants that put them in cease not to make the oven hot with rosin, pitch, tow, and small wood. And this word tow goes into like a synthetic fiber or like loose fiber. It's kind of like kindling, or like what you use to make like a spark, you know. So like, see if we can find tow. So when you go to tow in Merriam-Webster and you go down to this one, it says a short or broken fiber as of flax, hemp, or synthetic material that is used especially for yarn, twine, or stuffing, yarn or cloth made of tow, a loose, essentially untwisted strand of synthetic fibers. So basically it's just going into like, you know, a fluffy kindling, you know, that you would use to start a fire, something that can easily hold a spark. Okay, so basically they just threw all type of burning stuff in there. Okay, so that the flame streamed forth above the furnace 49 cubits. So the flame was so high above the furnace, it was 49 cubits high. That they made the oven so hot that it was 49 cubits high. Man, that's ridiculous. Verse 24, and it passed through and burnt those Chaldeans it found about the furnace. So the people outside the furnace, as you brothers probably know about, the brothers and sisters probably know about this story. You know, it was so hot outside that the men who came to put the coals and stuff in it were smitten with the flames. They died. Okay, verse 25. But the angel of the Most High came down into the oven together with Azarias and his fellows, and smote the flame of the fire out of the oven, and made the midst of the furnace as it had been a moist whistling wind. It was like a whirlwind of water, you know, cool water, so that the fire touched them not at all, neither hurt nor troubled them. You know, and then the three out of one mouth praised and glorified and blessed the Most High in the furnace, saying. So basically, yeah, they went, you know, they praised the Most High, but look at the power, you know, they trusted fully in the Most High. You know, imagine the amount of faith that had to be had to be thrown in such a blazing hot furnace, you know, with all manner of kindling and things being thrown in there, with a 49 cubit high fire coming out the top of it. You know, the people that are putting the coals in are dying. It's so hot. But these men in the midst of it, you know, had such great faith, you know, that the Most High, you know, protected them. So I go again to Ecclesiasticus 2:10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? You know, so that's just one example of where men having faith in the Most High were not confounded or forsaken. Okay, so when you go here, so this is also in the Apocrypha, Bel and the Dragon, chapter 1, which I believe there's only one chapter in this one, right? So this is a story, this is another angle of the story of Daniel and the lion's den. Okay, so we're just going to get straight to how the Lord help Daniel and save Daniel, because we know that the lions' mouths were kept from devouring Daniel, even though they were hungry. They did not devour Daniel. Okay, now let's go to verse 33. Now there was in Jewry a prophet called Habakkuk, which I believe this is trying to say, you know, he was in the faith. I think because, you know, when you go into Jewry, they usually spell it Jewry. But anyway, there was in Jewry a prophet called Habakkuk, who made pottage and had broken bread in a bowl and was going to the field for to bring it to the reapers. But the angel of the Lord said unto Habakkuk, Go carry the dinner that thou hast into Babylon unto Daniel, who was in the lion's den. And Habakkuk said, Lord, I never saw Babylon, neither do I know where the den is. Then the angel of the Lord took him by the crown and bare him by the hair of his head, and through the vehemency of his spirit set him in Babylon over the den. So this is him. He was teleported to Babylon right above where Daniel was being held. Verse 37. And then even think about this. Habakkuk being teleported to this place, being transported to this place. He didn't, act a fool. He just went instantly and was like, Daniel, take this dinner. He's like, here, get this food, man. Verse 37. And Habakkuk cried, saying, Oh, Daniel, take the dinner which the Most High have sent thee. And Daniel said, Thou hast remembered me, O power, neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee. And we know that the love of the Most High is that we keep his commandments. Okay. Let's just get that scripture real quick, and then we can move on. First John 5:3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. Okay. So yeah, matter of fact, let's First John 5:1. Whosoever believeth that Yahushai is the anointed is born of the Most High. And every one that loveth him that begat loveth him also that is begotten of him. By this we know that we love the children of the Most High, when we love the Most High and keep his commandments. For this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. Okay, so let's go back. Okay. Verse Bel and the Dragon 1:38. And Daniel said, Thou hast remembered me, O power, neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee, that seek him and keep his commandments. 39. So Daniel arose and did eat, and the angel of the Lord set Habakkuk in his own place again immediately. So let's see if I can see if we can get a so they got this thing that okay, they got this thing that Salaki. So they got this thing that Goku does, in the Dragon Ball Z thing, where he basically teleports. Okay. See if we can just get to the point here where he actually just teleports. Yeah. So as you can see, he's teleporting. See, now, this might have been the first time where he actually teleported, but that's how that's basically how quickly it is. He just goes from one place to another. Now he's come back, from wherever he just was. He come back with these glasses, But anyway, that's the power of the Lord. When the men of the Lord get spiritual power, who knows exactly what power we're gonna be able to put forth. Lord willing, I be a part of that number, as well as you sincere brethren out there. But yeah, man. So yeah, I just want to get that example, and also touch on that briefly, how the Lord calls Habakkuk to teleport. Okay. But yeah, the point here again is, and Daniel said, this is Bel and the Dragon 1:38. And Daniel said, Thou hast remembered me, O power, neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee. So moving on. So this is the book of Susanna. I'm just going to briefly summarize what was going on. So Susanna was a righteous woman. She was very beautiful to look upon. And there were two judges chosen to be judges of Israel. Okay, now it says that one of them was a Canaanite. He was not of the seed of Israel, I don't believe. From what it seemed to be saying. But I believe the other one was an Israelite. Okay. I'm not going to go deep into it, but basically these two wicked men who were chosen to be judges over Israel, they were supposed to be in a high position and supposed to be honorable men. They saw this woman, Susanna, and they both fell in love with her, even though they knew she was married. And so once they both found out that they had a mutual love for this woman, an adulterous desire for this woman, they purposed themselves to lie, to blackmail her, that if she didn't sleep with them, that they would lie and get her put to death, And so her choosing to be righteous, she decided, I'd rather fall into to your hands for wickedness sake. I'd rather fall into your hands for you to kill me than for the Lord, than for the Lord to destroy me. As a matter of fact, let's see that. Okay. Let's get Susanna 1 and 20. Behold the garden. So this is when they ran up to her after her servants had left from inside of the quarters. She was trying to wash herself. Okay, and they ran up like this is what they said. Behold, the garden doors are shut that no man can see us, and we are in love with thee. Therefore consent unto us and lie with us. If thou wilt not, we will bear witness against thee that a young man was with thee, and therefore thou didst send away thy maids from thee. Then Susanna sighed and said, I am straitened on every side, for if I do this thing, it is death unto me, and if I do it not, I cannot escape your hands. It is better for me to fall into your hands and not do it than to sin in the sight of the Lord. Okay, because she knew about this precept more than likely, or at least this concept. Let me say, get that real quick. Hebrews 10 and 31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. So she knew rather that instead of sinning before the Most High, that she would rather let these men do whatever, take her and kill her, man. So she put her faith in the Lord wholeheartedly that, I'm not going to sin before the Most High. I'd rather let you kill me. So now we get down to the point here. Okay. So basically they went before the assembly of the people, and Daniel being a young man, the Lord put the spirit on him to see that these men were lying. He tested them, and they were found to be liars, and they were put to death like they purposed to put Susanna to death. So when you read verse 60 here, it says, with that, all the assembly cried with a loud voice and praised the Most High, who saveth them that trust in him. So just reiterating Sirach 2 and 10. Look at the generations of old and see did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken, or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? So she trusted unto the Lord unto death, and she was saved. Okay, and I think that might be pretty much it. I don't know if I have anything else. I guess I'll get a little bit in here too, Hebrews 11. Okay. So I'll start at verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, So faith is the substance of things hoped for. It's the things hoped for being made, it gives it substance, the evidence of things not seen. Okay. So faith is like the actions. Okay. It's like you put your faith into action, it's the substance of things hoped for. So since you hope for, the scriptures call us, what? We're prisoners of hope, right? Okay. Zechariah 9 and 12. Turn ye to the stronghold, you prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. So basically the Lord's saying here, okay, that if you turn to trust into me, you will get a double reward. You will be rewarded. Okay. When I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man. Well, who are the sons of Zion? Well, we believe by faith that today that's the so-called Black, Latino, Native American. Also, the children of Israel that have been scattered into all nations that will come looking like all nations, being likened unto the speckled bird. Okay, in Jeremiah 2, if I'm not mistaken, that's Jeremiah 2 and 10. I'm not going to really read it. I just want to make sure that I know the right location of that. So that's going to be Jeremiah 2. Okay, 2. Whoops, that's not 2. Okay, Jeremiah 2. No, I'm wrong about that. They're gonna make me type it in just so I can say where it is. 12. Jeremiah 12 and 9. Salakia. So Jeremiah 12 and 9. Talks about the speckled bird. Okay, so that's talking about the Most High's people. Because Israel is his heritage and Israel is his inheritance. If you didn't know that. So anyway, Zechariah 9 and 12, turn you to the stronghold, you prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee when I have bent Judah for me, and filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece. Okay, and who's the sons of Greece? The Edomites. Okay, you trace back who ties themselves to being a part of the Grecian Empire. Who claims that lineage? Okay, we know that the original people were so-called dark-skinned people of Japhetic heritage, but that's not who made it famous. Who made the Grecians famous, and who claimed that heritage? Well, it's going to be Esau, Edom, and by deduction, you can find out who this is talking about. Who claims that Greek and Roman heritage today on the planet Earth? That'll give you a clue as to who the children of Israel will be fighting against. All right, so I'm just going to leave it at that. So let's continue. Continue here. We're going to wrap it up here. Okay, Hebrews for Hebrews 11 and 2. For by it the elders obtained a good report. By what? By faith. By faith. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of the Most High, so that the things which are seen were made not of things which do appear. By faith Abel offered unto the Most High more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, God, the Most High testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. But I want to get to the point. Okay, verse 8. By faith Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out, not knowing whither he went. So he didn't know where he was going. He hadn't have any clue. He just got up and he left, and that is him trusting in the Lord, and he received a great reward for it. Like I just read in the other scripture, turn you to the stronghold, you prisoners of hope, and you shall receive double, loosely paraphrasing, and Abraham received a great promise for showing his faith, and it was a repeated, thing, also when he was told to kill Isaac, he received, through his faith, he received the promise, Verse 9, by faith he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. You see? So, have faith in the Most High, and abide in his fear, his fear and his love, which is the keeping of his commandments, and he will not despise you, if you truly and sincerely dwell within that realm, then he will not despise you, and he will reward you, even if you have to die for this thing, even if I had to die for this thing. I pray the Lord keep the spirit on me to endure, and to not forsake him even unto death, because there is a reward for the righteous. Matter of fact, let me get that. Okay, that precept is Psalms 58. Let me get it on this one. What does this Proverbs 23 and 18 say? Proverbs 23, let's see if there's a little bit above that. And 17, let not thine heart envy sinners, but be thou in the fear of Yahweh all the day long. And if you fear him, you will keep his commandments, man. You will have respect unto his ways. Verse 18, for surely there is an end, and thine expectation shall not be cut off. Hey, that's the spirit, like it said, whoever was confounded, whoever being in his fear, abiding in his fear was confounded. You see, Psalms 58 and 11, in verse 10, the righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked. Verse 11, so that a man shall say, verily there is a reward for the righteous. Verily he is a power that judgeth in the earth. Okay. So, call Halal Yamla, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the whole for the elect. I pray this lesson was edifying. With that, I'm going to say Shalom.